Hello students. So in this session we will try to move towards the formulation part. There are different formula which will be used to find the load carrying capacity of a compression member. Okay. So we will try to find out the foundations of this formula. Okay. So uh, let us come to this point. Okay. So this column is hinged at these both ends, and there is some compression load. Okay, and as we know, as we all studied this buckling chapter in our previous semesters, okay, so we all know that this column will buckle at some particular load, and that is called buckling load or crippling load. Okay, so that crippling load is equal to PCR, and what is this? That is equal to pi square EI by L square. Okay, so basically in this, when these both ends are hinged, this effective length L effective is equal to K into L, so K becomes 1, so it is basically L effective is equal to L. Okay, now for this hinged condition of this compression member, this is the crippling load, as you all know. Okay, so we will understand to we will understand the foundation. Okay, foundation part of those theories which will be used in our calculations. Okay, by this standard case. Okay, by this standard hinge case. uh, okay, so now, as I was saying, this buckling load or crippling load is equal to pi square EI by L square. Now what is the buckling stress? So this is buckling load, so buckling stress is equal to, we can represent it like this, FCR. Okay, so it will be nothing but PCR by A numerically. Okay, so it will be pi square EI by A into L square. So now what is this I? So as you all know, I is nothing but A into R square, radius of gyration. Okay, so we can represent it like this, pi square EI A R square A into L square. So we can write it, so A will be cancelled, so pi square E, we can take this R in the denominator, and it will be simply L by R whole square. Okay, so this pi square E by this L by R is nothing but the, that is, what is KL by R? That is what the slenderness ratio, and what it was represented by this lambda. Okay, so it is nothing but this lambda square. So FCR is equal to pi square E by lambda square. So from this equation, what we can understand? So you can understand that this buckling stress is related to this lambda, and it is inversely proportional. Okay, so FCR is proportional to the 1 by lambda square. Okay, so what is the uh, behavior, or what will be the curve if I want to draw a curve between this buckling stress and this slenderness ratio number? Okay, so it will be, so parabolic relation we can say. So if I draw it here, so in this axis suppose this lambda, and in this axis suppose this stress in MPa. Okay, so stress is FCR. Okay, so relation is 1 by lambda square, so obviously it will be a curve like this. Okay, so you have to remember this curve. This curve is called elastic buckling curve. Okay, so this buckling is happening within this elastic limit, as I have explained this in my first video lecture on compression member. So okay, so this buckling is elastic buckling. Okay, so you have to remember this behavior. Okay, so let us go to the next page. So in last page That curve was the elastic buckling curve. So in elastic buckling curve, the stress was FCR, and that FCR is less than the yield stress. So we are not reaching the maximum load carrying capacity. Okay, we are not utilizing our material. Suppose if we want to use our material to its fullest, what will be the maximum load carrying capacity? So maximum load carrying capacity will be obviously this Fy into area. Because it reaches the yield stress, we assume that the material has failed. That means this, after this achieving this yield stress, that means the steel reaches the plastic state. Okay, so this is the maximum load carrying capacity of the section. So in case the material or the member fails by buckling, okay, the stress does not reach this yield stress. Okay, so if it is allowed to reach this yield stress by some arrangement, okay, then also the maximum stress at any section will be Fy. Okay, as simple as water. Okay, now let us draw stress strain curve. Okay, so the member, if I allow this member to yield, so it will, stress will increase like this. Okay, so this is the yield stress. After reaching this point, the steel will go to the plastic range. Okay, so this is the idealized stress strain curve up to this yield point. Okay, now this FCR is less than or equal to this Fy. It cannot never be more than this yield stress. So this buckling stress will always be less or equal to this yield stress. Okay, now let us, so this is the strain and this is the stress axis, so in MPa. Okay, so now let us merge these two curve. Okay, so if we merge these two curve, let us draw it here. So the curve is this, and that curve on the last page, it was like this. Okay, so both the curves will intersect at some point. So this is elastic buckling curve, and this is crushing curve when the material fails by crushing. Okay, and this stress is equal to this Fy. Okay, and what will be this stress? If I follow this curve, then this point will be FCR. Okay, so in this axis we can represent this slenderness ratio, and the at any point we will get two values. So if I select this point, it will have this value, that means this slenderness ratio, and it will show you this much amount of crippling load. If for any member the slenderness ratio is this amount, okay, so if I extend this line to this curve, so it will give you a stress to this value. So that for that slenderness number, the member will fail at this stress. Okay, and that failure will be the geometric failure. Now this is also a, so this on this curve, this stress is equal to the crippling load FCR. Okay, so now let us give it a name, that is A. Okay, then let it be C, and it is B. Okay, so A, C, B. So what we can say, when the slenderness number is very less, okay, suppose here, so these axis denotes the, represents the slenderness number. So suppose the number is lambda is this, that means this slenderness ratio is very less. so that means not cylinder member. Okay, it is not a cylinder member, so the member will fail by this geometry material failure. Okay, so when we reach this value, okay, so when we reach this slenderness ratio, okay, there is change of behavior. So value before this slenderness value, the member should fail by material failure. Okay, and above that value it should fail by geometric failure. So this point, okay, demarcates these two behavior. That means this portion will be for short column. As we all know, short column fail by the crashing of the member, and long column by the geometric failure, that means buckling. Okay, now this lambda is denoted by lambda c. Okay, so how can we represent this lambda c? So this lambda c is the changing point. Okay, so before this it is failing by material failure, it is, and above this it is failing by the geometric failure. So the at this slenderness ratio, the stress is equal to the Fy. So we can write it like this: lambda c is equal to pi into E by Fy. Okay, so if you say how, then we can write it like this: Fy is equal to pi square E by lambda c square. Okay, from the formula which was written here. So this is the basic formula. FCR was this: pi square E by lambda square. So stress is equal to pi square E by lambda square. So for this point, okay, for this point, so the corresponding stress is Fy. So we will replace this FCR by Fy. So pi square E by lambda c square. Okay, so from this equation we can write this lambda c. Okay, so now let us introduce a different term, that is generalized slenderness ratio, that is lambda g, and it is equal to lambda by lambda c. Okay, now what is lambda? So from this equation, so we can find this lambda. So lambda will be simply pi E by FCR. Okay, similar to this equation. So if I replace this lambda, if I put this lambda and lambda c in this equation, so lambda g will be pi, so E by FCR, okay, into, so it will be just reverse pi 1 by pi root under lambda c. So lambda c is equal to this, so Fy will go up, and this E, so E will be cancelled from both side, pi will be cancelled from both side. So lambda g is equal to root under Fy by FCR. Okay, so what is the speciality of this lambda g? So lambda g is basically, so at this lambda g point, okay, that means at this point, or we can say what would be the value of lambda g for this point. Okay, so for this point, this Fy and this FCR are equal. Okay, so from this curve we can see, so we can say for changing point, or the point which demarcates the behavior, that means long column behavior and short column behavior, so at that point this ratio, and this ratio is called non-dimensional slenderness ratio or generalized slenderness ratio, it should be equal to 1. Okay, so So after that we have to draw a relation, or we have to draw a curve between these stress or load carrying capacity, okay, stress carrying capacity, with this lambda g. Okay, so what would be this curve? So this curve will look like this. So this stress is the yield stress, and this curve is the elastic buckling curve. So on this axis we are representing the stress carrying capacity. So at this point is Fy. So we will represent this axis like this, FCD by Fy. So at this point now it will become uh, sorry, so it will become 1.0, because so this axis was FCD. Okay, so at this yield point it was Fy. So if I want to show this axis as FCD by Y, that means at this point the FCD is equal to Fy, so this point will be equal to 1. Okay, and on this axis it will be this lambda g, and it is nothing but this Fy by FCR. Okay, so the relations, or for any compression member we have to find the strength from this relation, from this curve, using the graphical method. Okay, FCR. Okay, so it is elastic buckling curve, and this point is the plastic point, plastic limit, plastic zone. Okay, so let me just summarize this total thing, this graphical thing. So in the previous page, so this was the page, so I thought you have understood this. So let us just briefly explain it once again. So this FCR is basically the crippling load. So in this axis we get the FCD. Okay, the load carrying capacity or stress carrying capacity under the geometric failure. So on this axis what we will get, you will get the crippling load for a particular slenderness ratio. Okay, so FCR is basically this. So FCR is proportional to this 1 by lambda square. So we can understand the curve will be like this. Okay, now we can get the value of lambda from this equation. So that is pi square E by FCR. So this lambda is equal to root under this, so that will be pi root under E by FCR. Okay, so now on the next page I was saying the material, if the material fails by the yielding, then maximum stress will be this Fy. So uh, on this, if I merge these two curve, so we'll get this part and this part. So this is the for geometric failure and this for material failure. So on this curve this stress will intersect at some point. So from this curve what we can understand, so this axis is representing the slenderness ratio. So for lower slenderness ratio, the member will fail by the plastic failure or the material failure by yielding. Okay, so here also it will fail by the yielding. So but here the material will change its behavior, so it may fail in this plastic failure, or it may fail geometrically. Okay, so this is the change point. So that is why it is lambda c. And so then we can represent this lambda c like this. So lambda c is so at this lambda c what will be the stress is equal to pi square ei by lambda square. So for this point this stress is equal to Fy. So Fy is equal to pi square e by lambda c square for this point. Okay, so from this equation we can write this lambda c is equal to this. So now this curve basically gives the strength of a compression member in all cases, okay, when the column is axially loaded. Okay, now in this case everything is dimensional. Okay, so if I want to represent this relation of this load carrying capacity or stress carrying capacity with this slenderness number, in a non-dimensional form. Okay, so how we can represent that? So let us divide this lambda, okay, by this lambda c. So we will get a non-dimensional, so it will have no dimensions because it is a ratio. Okay, so that is why lambda g is equal to lambda by lambda c. So we know what is lambda, so you have got it in my previous page. So that is lambda, so lambda by lambda c. So if this is lambda c, so lambda is g is equal to this. Okay, you can do it. Okay, so you will get lambda g is equal to root under fy by fcr. So for this point, okay, so for this point, what will be this lambda g? Okay, so lambda g for this change over point will be when so at this point, this fy is equal to the fcr, so both are same thing. So we can write it, this fy is equal to fcr, so it will, you will get this lambda g is equal to 1. Okay, so at this change point, lambda g is equal to 1.0. Okay, so here this axis is for this non-dimensional number. This is called non-dimensional slenderness ratio. Okay, so here in this axis, if we want to convert it in non-dimensional form, then let us divide this fcd by this fy. Okay, so that is why this axis is fcd by fy, and at this yield point, okay, the fcd will be the simply fy, so it will be fy by fy, that means 1.0 here at this point. Okay, so uh, so this is the curve which we got. Okay, and this curve is basically for standard conditions. So what is standard conditions? So standard conditions means the column should have no imperfection. Okay, it should be perfectly perfect. Okay, it should be absolutely perfect material, and the load should perfectly be concentrated at the geometry cg of the geometry. Okay, so there should not be any eccentricity, and there should not be any deviation of the standard support conditions. Okay, so these standard conditions we cannot get in our practice. Okay, so there may be some imperfection in the material, there may be some eccentricity in the material. Okay, so depending on these factors, okay, imperfections, eccentricity, and other factors, okay, there should be some change. That means we should change this curve. Okay, so this is the first curve. So on the next class, on the next session, we will change this curve. Okay, so we'll briefly describe, because it is becoming very lengthy, and this part you can cover in your masters. Okay, so because we have to finish a lot of syllabus, and these derivations are not in your syllabus. Okay, but based on your academic interest you can study. So as I'm interested, that's why I'm saying. Okay, so next session we will just change this curve based on the imperfections. Okay, so thank you very much, and if you have any doubt, then you should call me, or you can post your comment on Google Classroom. Okay, thank you.